Okay, inequalities involving absolute values. Now, absolute value is like sort of distance, so we can't have negative distance, so it's always going to be positive. So the actual symbol is a little two bars protecting x. Okay, so x can be positive and negative, but when it comes out of the absolute value, it's always going to be positive because it's like a distance. So let's have a look at this question here. Absolute value of x is less than or equal to 2. So I just sketched the number line right there. And the whole x, the distance, is less than or equal to 2. So it has to be in between 2 and minus 2 because x can be 2 or negative 2. And its absolute value is less than or equal to 2. So it's here, right there. Okay, so that's what we need to think about, and therefore my x values going to be in between, isn't it? So I'm going to write the answer with the blue. So to be minus 2 is less than or equal to x, bigger than or equal to x, bigger than or equal to negative 2, but less than or equal to 2. Okay, so another one is like this one. Now what this means is this distance is bigger than 2, so it means it's out of this way and out of the other side because it's bigger than 2. Now here it's bigger than 2 because it's all going to be positive anyway, so it's going to be this way. So my distance on here, it would be 2 conditions here because it's not included in here, so it's this one and this one. So I'm going to go x is less than minus 2 or x is bigger than 2. So that's this part and that's this part. So when it's bigger than something, there will be 2 parts, 2 conditions. Whereas less than, it's in the middle part, so it's only 1 condition there. And here is the some formula, if you like. So have a look at it, and that's what we've done. So when it was equal, we just normally do plus minus the constant number. And this one is the example of that, and this was the example of this one. Or the other way around. It's less than constant is in between, bigger than constant is that. So this one is for this one, that one is for this one. Okay, well let's do the question now. All right, here we go. So the part C says the absolute value of 2y minus 1 is less than 5. So if I sort of sketch sort of distance things, I'm going to put something like this. 2y, it's in there, 5 minus 5. And it's less than, isn't it? 5, so it's here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in between 5 and minus 5. Okay, so I need to make, my aim is to make this middle part is to y by itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Okay, so what's that going to be? It's going to be minus 4, 2y, 6. And now I'm just going to divide it by 2. So what I've got left, I've got minus 2, y, and 3. So y is in between minus 2 and 3. That's my answer. Okay. The next one, it's a bigger than. Okay, so the whole thing is a bigger than. So what happens here is going to be, so minus 3, 3 here, and it's all this side part of that. Okay, so I've got 2 things that I need to think about, 2 conditions. 5b minus 7 is less than equal to minus 3, this part, or 5b minus 7 is bigger than equal to 3. So I need to work on that. So I'm going to do this first. Plus 7 plus 7, I'll get 4. And divided by 5, divided by 5. And here, same thing, plus 7 plus 7. Divided by 5, divided by 5. So that's what I've got. Okay, so that's what we have. Next one. Now this one looks a little bit different, but not too different, because it's just the swapping left and right was just swapped around. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to swap them back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to go 2x minus 8 and less than 14. Okay, so that looks a bit familiar. And it's less than 14, so it's in between, yeah? It's in between. So I'm going to go minus 14. And I'm going to go, what, plus 8, plus 8, plus 8. What I've got left will be minus 6, 2x, 22. And I divided by 2, 2, 2. And I got left with, therefore, minus 3, x, 11. Okay, so that's what we got. And next one, F. Again, I'm just going to swap this around so it looks a little bit more familiar for me. So I'm going to do that right now. And then it's bigger than, so it's going to be, it's a outer part, isn't it? So I'm going to go 2 cases here. 6 minus 5n is less than equal to minus 11, or 6 minus 5n is bigger than equal to 11. Okay, so now I'm going to work on that. So I'm going to go minus 6 minus 6. I've got minus 5n less than equal to minus 17. And I'm going to divide it by minus 5. And of course, it'll change the sign. And so will be like that. Same thing here. I'm going to do minus 6, minus 6. I've got minus 5n bigger than equal to 5. And then I'll do divide by minus 5. It'll be n less than equal to minus 1. So that's what I've got. Okay, so that's not too bad. Next one. This is not an inequality, but I'm just going to do this one. This is a bit harder equation with absolute value. So I'm just going to do this one for a little bonus questions. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Now here, you know that's going to be two things here. Plus minus x minus 3. So 2 cases. I'm going to go when it's a positive. And when it's a negative. Okay, so I'll set up like that, and I'm just gonna times this, so x3 minus x. So I'm gonna do this first, and I'm going to put this first. 3x minus x squared equals x minus 3, and I didn't really have to do that. Well, doesn't really matter. I'm going to move this one to the other, so because I don't want this to be negative. So it'll be x minus 3 minus 3x plus x squared equals 0. So did you understand what I've done? I'm moving this whole thing into here. So I've got left with the x squared minus 2x, take it away, minus 3 equals 0. It's quadratic. It's a monic, easy. 1, 3 because it's a prime, and the negative is a bigger number, it's going to be negative, positive. So therefore x equals minus 1 and 3. Now there's a but. Why? We forgot about mentioning here x cannot be 3. So x can't be 3, isn't it? So therefore x equals minus 1 here. This is the only possible x values. So we need to check that afterwards. So I've done the first part, so I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to do x minus 3, x 3 minus x. Okay, so what I've got here, minus x plus 3, 3x minus x squared. So I'm going to move this one to the other side. 3x, going to stay the same. Minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so monic x, Ext1, 3. Okay, I like to set up like this and then not think about it. So it's going to be negative 4 and the positive, obviously, negative and negative. So therefore x equals 1 or 3. But what do we say? X cannot be 3. So therefore x equals 1. Now this is all possible x values. So we need to check whether which one's satisfying. So I'm going to check. First I'm going to check x equals minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to check that, minus 1. So I'm going to put that into right there. Okay, see if it works. Obviously this. So I'm going to write it here, x minus 3, so I don't have to look up again. It has to satisfy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put minus 1 in there. Minus 1, minus 3, 3 minus 1 has to be minus 1. Okay, see if it satisfies here. So here, what we got? Minus 4. That's 4. And that's going to be 4 over 4. It can't be minus 1. It should be just 1. Okay, just 1. So this doesn't work. Okay, hopefully this might work. X equals 1. So I'm going to put it in to here. So it'll be 1 minus 3. 3 minus 1 should be 1. Let's see. On top here, minus 2. And there's a 2. And that's no matter what, negative or not, absolute value is going to be positive. And that is correct. So therefore, only x that is satisfying the whole thing is x equals 1. So be careful. After you've done all that, finding an x possible x values, make sure you check that with the original equation. Okay. All right. Next one. Okay. This is not too bad. We just have to think about a couple of 2 ways, isn't it? So one with 2x minus 1 being positive, and the other one is when it's negative. Okay, so it's not too bad. So when we do that quickly, I'm going to move everything on one side, just make it the right hand side is 0, easy. So 3x equals 6, x equals 2, okay. And then that's a possible x value. This was minus 2x plus 1. So I'm going to move the whole thing to the other because I don't want to have a negative. So 5 minus x plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. And I've got x plus 4 equals 0. Therefore, x equals minus 4. Now, these are the possible, okay, x values. So I need to check. So I'm going to check this. So when x equals 2, when x equals minus 4, I'm going to check that. So I'm going to put that into this equation right there. So I'm going to go 2 minus 1 equals 5 minus 2. So that needs to be satisfied, okay? So it'll be 4 minus 1, that'll be 3. And that's a 3, have to value 3. Yep, that's good. So that's okay. Now let's have a look at this one. 4 minus 1, 5, minus 4. Yep, and that's minus 8 minus 1, 9. And that's minus 9. Yep, 9 equals 9. It's all good. They're both included. Excellent. So the answer should be x equals 2 or x equals minus 4. Now, before we do that, there's another way of doing this. I'm just going to quickly show you. So, from here, I'm going to square both sides. Okay, so when I square the both sides, I'll get square. So that will become 2x, same as this. Okay, so and then I solve it, expand, 25, and then put it all together, we'll get something like this. And then I divide it by 3. And I vectorize it because it's a monic, easy. That gives me 2 and 4 plus minus, because that's plus bigger one. So x equals 2 or minus 4, but check and it will be same as this. Okay, so your final answer is x equals 2 or 4. That should be your final answer. Okay, well done.